So with my first impressions, I would say that I do like these changes. I do like the charms. I do think they all need some fine tuning. It does to me feel like it was rushed in a matter of a couple of weeks. For example, it literally was, because they came out with the terror zones. People complained, like me, about the immunities in the terror zones. And now they came up with a solution for the immunities, and that's with these charms, these Sunder charms, and the Sunder mechanic. For those that don't know what it does, basically any monster that is immune immediately goes to 95 resistance if you're wearing one of these charms. For example, fire, if you're wearing a fire Sunder charm, then if a monster is 175 resistant, then it goes immediately to 95% fire resistant. Then after all of that, everything is applied. So this is extremely powerful, because then after that, your facets apply, your infinity applies, lore resist applies, all that stuff. Now this actually means that more builds will be able to play pretty much almost anything. So these charms do have negative effects as well, including the fire has -75 fire resist, the cold is -75 cold, lightning, same thing with lightning, poison, same thing with poison. The magic is only -50 magic resist, and the physical is 25, so you take 25% physical damage increase if you are a physical build. So just for reference, so you guys all know how infinity and resistances worked, it was 1/5 efficiency when anything was immune, basically 100% or higher, and now it's going to be fully efficient after the Sunder. So this is a massive buff. For example, monsters will only get like to around 80 resistance, which was a pretty common thing, and then you use facets or griffins and things like that. Now we're gonna have infinity afterwards, making us way stronger than we were before. We'll see how this all pans out, but I just wanted you guys to know that stuff and how it worked. Just for some basic mechanics on what does and doesn't work with Sunder, the Hydra doesn't work, the Trapsin doesn't work, the Mercenaries don't work, and Summons don't work for Sunder. The other thing to know is that if you Sunder a monster, then your teammate will not benefit from that Sunder. So if you're playing in a party of 2, only you will benefit from it, not your friend. Now if your friend has Conviction Aura, then you can actually benefit from that Conviction Aura after it's sundered. So the monster is sundered, and then it's a 1-to-1 ratio of how much that pierce is going to affect. So what we know so far about how it drops is that the Sundered Charm only drops in the terror zones from elite packs, aka the champions and the unique packs that spawn inside there, and that it is Q level 75. For reference, Geed's Fortune is Q level 70, and that's a unique charm as well, but it can drop everywhere where Sunder can't. Again, these things are subject to change. This is just stuff that we saw that I looked at in the game files. Basically, the Sunder Charm can only drop in Hell difficulty. So with that being said, just going over each one of them quickly, the magic one is going to be seeing the least amount of use because there's no way to actually pierce or lower the resistances of anything magic in the game. So 95 resist is almost still immune, especially with monsters healing, and it's just a negative effect at that point. The physical one, it's going to be used for sure. It's actually pretty strong. A lot of the community was saying like this is not good, this is bad or whatever. Now that's a comparison thing. That's a whole nother subject. This is strictly better than what we had before. It would be cool if the physical damage reduction was a little bit like, or damage increase I should say, was a little bit less than it is. Right now it's -25 physical resist, and it would be cool if it was like 20, or even if it rolled or something would be cool. But I do actually like this. Something that people I think are missing right now is the fact that like once you sunder an enemy's physical resistance, then you amp, it means you're going to be leeching so much more than you were before off of monsters that are physical immune. And then if you don't want to even wear it, because there's no point in wearing it if there's no physical immunes around, you don't have to wear it. So you can put it in your cube or in your stash, whatever, and then use it only for farming zones that have physical immunes. Say if that terror zone has physical immunes, you want to throw it on then. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It would be cool if it's small adjustment, not that big, but just a small one. So for the cold Sunder Charm, this one's actually pretty interesting and probably one of the better ones in the earlier game stages, because everybody's pretty much going to be playing a Blizzard Sorc, the strongest early game build, and the sorceress has something in her cold skill tree called Cold Mastery. Cold Mastery, it also pierces enemy resistances. So if a monster is not immune, then the minus res just is 100% efficient and pins monsters' resistances down super far into the negatives. So with now the addition of Sundered Charms and Cold Mastery, Blizzard Sork is going to be even more effective in more areas. Not that it's actually receiving any damage buff in any particular way, because you're actually doing less damage because you have to wear this charm and take off your skiller to use this, but you can farm more areas. With those charms, if you get your hands on one of those with the Blizzard Sork, it's going to be even better. For other builds, it's pretty much the same thing as the lightning or fire ones or poison. You need some sort of like extra pierce, like whether it's a facet or lower res or conviction, to continue breaking that resistance after it's 95%, and then it's pretty solid after that. So things like a Holy Freeze Paladin could really benefit from this. We'll see what type of builds actually pop up from this. One thing to note is that I was actually able to, on P1, clear Chaos pretty fast, and I was able to go into Claw Vapor Temple, which is full of cold immunes, and kill all the snakes, even if they're cold enchanted. So it's pretty wild what Cold Mastery is and how that works, and then also how the new Sunder mechanic works. Let me know what you guys think about this, and maybe we should change the Cold Mastery to plus skill damage rather than Pierce. Now for the Fire Sunder Charm, so this one's actually very strong. If you have Infinity, you're going to be able to like absolutely shred things. I went on players 8 with a Fireball Sorceress and shredded Chaos Sanctuary on players 8, so that was pretty wild. And that's just going to make fire builds a lot stronger in general. So fire is actually pretty strong, it's pretty good. Everything that's a lightning build is going to be a lot stronger as well. I did P8 on some skeletons in Stony Field, 0 Pierce, no Infinity, and I was still killing things pretty fast. Definitely highlights how strong the Javazon is in general. And then we have Poison. Poison, I think, is good for the Poison Nova Necromancer. Again, the Necromancer just struggles to get that first kill and then getting that Corpse Explosion off later. But the Poison isn't bad, man. There's not a whole lot of Poison immunes, but when you do come across them, the Necromancer can farm more. So it's better than it was. I'm more excited about the Fire Charms and the other ones. But, I mean, it's not bad. This is new here, and we don't have a lot of information on all this stuff, so there's a lot of testing to do. And if you guys found out some stuff that we don't know or don't realize, let us know in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Thank you all for watching. You guys are all beasts.